you're a negativity bias and you're skeptic around positive psychology, it's going to prevent you from ever implementing these strategies into your life. In turn, it's going to create that same cycle. But we want to start implementing positive psychology. Let's do that now. Check it out. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Positivity Experience. It's your girl, Lori, and we are almost through March. Well, I'm like, what the hell month is this? It's March. It's almost my birthday. A couple weeks from now, we're almost into April. Happy spring. We have now sprung. And I hope that the beginning part of your year is going well. And even if it has not been optimum, we can change that through our mindset. And I cannot wait to get into this. It is something that I have to practice every day. It is something that most of you are going to have to practice every single day. There's no scenario where you just get it and then you're fine. So there is a great worksheet over on Patreon that's going to really help us walk through it and implement it. And of course, it's going to start with self-awareness because you have to be aware of yourself before you make changes, right? We have to be aware of where the issues are and then address those in order to actually make those changes. So if that's your jam, I think it's very valuable. Hop on over there, and that's patreon.com/Lori Wheeler. No, it is not. No, it is not. It is /the Positivity Experience. And every month, the higher tier over there gets an extra bonus episode. And that one's going to be on understanding why you have clutter and how to get rid of that. So if that's your jam, pop on over there. But let's talk today. So important. This is something that I think most of us struggle with until we don't. Now, like I was saying in the beginning, I have to practice this every day. You are also not a Roomba. Okay. You are not a robot. You're not a vacuum cleaner. You aren't going to wake up positive every day. You're not going to be positive on a scale of 1 to 10. You're not going to be at a 10 at all times. Right? We're always goaling for 80%. In everything we do, we're goaling for 80. But some of those days, man, it's going to be negative. And some of those days, you're going to be off the charts. And that's why you want to look at pretty much a summary of it, right? You want to look and say, this is where my average is. And psychology has been proven countless times in mindfulness. Mindfulness is going to be your key to positive psychology, but we will get to that when I get to hey, here's how to switch it and change it. Because here's the thing, there's no scenario where negative psychology is ever going to get you to the place you want to be at. It just won't. Now, will you do things out of scarcity? And that's part of what we're going to talk about here in a minute. Yeah, you will. Will there be things that you go, my God, every time I turn around, I'm getting hit by something. There's something super duper negative. Well, yeah, but this is where the psychology of it is going to need to come in. So it focuses on enhancing well-being and performance, because yes, it does, by cultivating positive emotions, behaviors, and thoughts. And we'll get to why those three are important. And then despite its benefits, though, a lot of people are like, nope, I can't even do this effectively. And I don't know if I even know how to do it. So I want to go through each one of those things before I go into more in depth here. Your behavior and your thoughts are going to be a key here. Behavior and thoughts. And I'm even going to throw, I guess, actions, which would kind of fall into behaviors. There's no scenario where you keep reading affirmations. By the way, love affirmations, but they don't mean anything if you're putting them just words on a paper. You're not just going to wake up and go, you're amazing. Well, yes, you are. And for a while there, you're not going to believe it. But you can't say you're amazing and then go live your life as though you're not amazing. Okay. An affirmation is good because it gives you a starting point, but it's only as good as the work that you do behind that. And that's where the thought and the behavior has to come into play. Because if it doesn't, it's going to be a little bit of a resistance to you, because you have to adapt the targets of the strategies, and you also have to facilitate the integrity of it daily. And let me tell you right now, you're not going to feel like it every day. Nope, you're not. And this sense of I need this right now is a massive factor of this. If you're looking for instant gratification, this practice is going to be very difficult for you. Just like therapy is going to be difficult for you, coaching is going to be difficult for you, going to the gym is going to be difficult for you. The more you're looking for instant gratification, the less you will find what it is that you seek. And then what you're going to do is you're going to run around trying to find it. You're going to gym hop, you're going to therapy hop, you're going to podcast hop, you're going to book hop. You're going to do all of those things looking for this magic pill and magic solution. And I will tell you what I've told you every week. It doesn't matter who you listen to on podcasts, who you're practicing with, as far as maybe you're my clients. That's great. Love you being here. You can be my client. Just pop over to the website. Let's get this on board, right? But it doesn't matter who you're listening to or what you're doing if in fact you're not willing to do the work. There isn't a magic solution. There isn't a magic pill. There just isn't. And when you start off, of course, you're like gung-ho. You're like, yes, I'm so over it. I'm ready to do this, blah, blah, blah. And then it starts to get a little bit more difficult. Starts to get like, okay, well, didn't we just like talk about that for the last like 3-4 weeks? Yes, we sure did. We absolutely did. And you can't say, well, I got the tools. Thank you for giving me the homework. Love that. I'm ready to move the next thing. You're not. This is where that's going to be a problem when you're dealing with positive psychology. If you're like, I've been doing these affirmations and I've been doing my journaling and this is great and I've been doing it for a week. Well, what the hell does that mean? That doesn't mean anything. I mean, it's great. It means something. It means that you've started, but it doesn't mean anything to move forward if in fact you haven't fully integrated this. And if you're thinking that 1 or 2 days is going to do it or 1 or 2 weeks is going to do it, that's going to be a problem. I mean, it really is, because you're in that space and you want it right now. Well, hell, we all want everything right now. That's actually a human trait. I mean, it really is. That's a human trait to want what we want when we want it. So part of the positive psychology, and yes, it's proven countless times in science, it's not just a woo-woo thing, that mindset, and going into the brain a little bit, more of a neuroscience type thing for just a hot second, you have to remember your brain, your neurotransmitters, right? And your neural pathways, they're going to latch onto whatever you feed it. And then it's going to become a habit. So knowing that you might have been in a negative mindset, a pessimistic mindset, you're not going to try this for a couple weeks and then go, why is it not working? Because your brain has been wired this way. You fed your brain this for so many years. We can't just undo it that fast. None of us are magic. Very important, because in order to actually practice this, you're going to actually have to practice it. And that doesn't necessarily mean fake it till you make it. I mean, there's a level of that, but it's do the actions. Don't worry about making it or faking it. You're just doing the actions. You're not faking it if you're actually doing it and you're staying in the present space. That's not faking it. That's just doing the action. But you're not getting attached. You're not getting attached to the outcome of what you think it's going to be. You're just not. Now, your negativity bias, and I have an entire episode on negativity bias. Make sure you go back there. If you have been on the Patreon, go back and visit that worksheet. Really important. So I'm not going to go into it too deep, but I am going to go into it somewhat like here. So your negativity bias, what exactly is that? That's when, okay, so first let's talk about this. Humans in general are naturally going to go in a negative space. We don't just wake up and go, oh my God, it's a glorious day today. However, you're looking at it negatively. You're going to look for it. You're going to look for the negative experiences. And what that does, by the way, and I'll go into it a little bit deeper with like the negativity and skepticism. I'm going to just give you the rundown and then we'll go into that a little bit deeper before I start implementing strategies for you. But you have to remember that when you're focusing on looking for the negative, you will never see the positive. And you won't even appreciate the positive. You will not. Let's say something, let's do this together. Okay, let's play this game together. I need you to be on point right now. When is the last time something positive happened? Don't tell me never. It has. Just, it doesn't matter. And also, let's not worry about the magnitude of positivity. I don't mean you got a $35,000 raise. I mean, maybe you drank your water today. Maybe you brushed your teeth twice this week or twice today. It doesn't matter. When is the last time that you did something positive or something positive happened? Think about that for a second. Great. Now, the interesting part of that is, let's say you said, I drank my water today. Well, now what you're going to do is go, well, I mean, okay, that's kind of not hard. I just had to drink water. I had to just push through that. Yeah. But see, you've already poo-pooed that away. You're like, well, this is what everybody does. No, you're never going to find a positive outcome when you're constantly either seeking what you still need to do or the negativity of it. And when you focus on a negative bias, okay, let's play this game. And let's not say past, let's look at something future for a second. There's something coming up. I don't know what it is for you, but there's something coming up. Maybe it's a party, maybe it's a picnic, maybe I don't know, it's something. Are you automatically thinking to yourself, oh God, okay, it's going to be a lot. I guess I'm going to sign up for paper and plastic, for the thing. And then I'm going to have to get there. And then I have to talk to Tiffany, and Tiffany's a pain in the ass. And okay, how many times have you done that? Are you doing that right now? Are you looking at a situation and going, oh my God? Or are you looking and go, this is not going to be good because my ex-friend is going to be there. And my ex-friend and I, we share this person. The ex-friend's going to be there. Now you play this whole scenario out. We're going to get in. She's going to make a scene. I don't want to talk to her. It's going to be awkward. It's going to feel uncomfortable. Okay. This preparation is not helping you at all because it's going to be what it's going to be. It's going to be what it's going to be. And I got to tell you, and this is proven, 87 to 92% of the times, that worst case scenario doesn't happen. And then the other remaining time doesn't even mean it's the worst. It just may go similar to what you're thinking. If you're focusing on that, then you're not going to focus on the other 87% because you're going to find that when you are in a negativity bias, and then let's throw a confirmation bias in that too, you're always looking to confirm something negative. You're looking for that and you will find what you seek. But sometimes what you seek and what you find, you might think it's one thing, but it really isn't. So if you're constantly in this negative loop and you're constantly waiting for the negative, how the hell are you going to implement positive psychology? You're not. So don't tell yourself, I want to be positive. No, you're not. You're not going to do the things. You don't get to live in a negative mindset and meditate for 30 seconds and be like, here I am, I'm positive. You're not. And that's why there's a strategy. So we're talking about why you have a hard time adapting it. Oh my goodness, that's a big one. Then you have negative potency. So think about potent. Think about something really, really strong. Negative events have a more substantial impact on your behavior, like on your behavior and thoughts, compared to positive events of a similar magnitude. Let's say a solid 8, an 8 negative and an 8 positive. Whatever this negative thing, whatever this positive thing, your brain is going to go more towards that negative. So when you go towards the negative, you're going to kind of pretend that the positive doesn't exist. Or when the positive does exist, well, the bottom's going to fall out. Yes, every day isn't going to be great. If you can't enjoy a moment in time because you're so worried about when is it going to stop, you're not even in that moment in the first place. It is a wave. We are waves. We come in, we go out. Our emotions come in, our emotions go out. Sometimes they're stronger, sometimes the undertow is there, but it's the same thing. Your thoughts and everything will continue a normal cycle of how it goes. Doesn't matter if you're focusing on the negative. The moment something positive happens and you hold your breath and you grab your seat and you go, oh my God, I want to deal with this, but oh my God, it's going to end soon. Then you're just staying negative in general. And I've said this to you before. If you have 100 comments, you get comment cards for something. You have 100 comments and the first 30 are like, oh my God, this is the best. You're amazing. The next one is kind of like, it was okay. Yeah, I mean, it was all right. It wasn't really how I expected it to be or what I wanted it to be. It was okay. Now, the rest of them are all like, oh my God, it was great. Yeah, 4s and 5 stars. You're not even reading anything past that. And if you are, you're like, oh my God. But that person said you have 99 good comments. And your ass is going to sit there and look at this one negative one. Now you want to say why. Now that goes into insecurity, goes into self-esteem, and quite honestly, goes into your ego. So the potency of any type, I don't know why I'm pronouncing that so specific, but the potency of that mindset is you're going to look and you're going to glom onto it because your negativity bias will see that. I know I have told you, I know you hear it all over socials, you've heard it in your doctor. Not everybody's gonna like you. Not everybody's gonna like me. Are you gonna now suddenly try to change to fit everybody's narrative? Well, that's a whole different story. You need to book an appointment with me. You like now, get off here and just go book it. Because you will not be liked by everybody. And quite frankly, you don't like everybody. Let's not pretend like all of a sudden you just love everybody. You don't. I mean, you can love somebody, but you don't have to like them. Just really, really important that you understand that there's a potency that comes in there. Now, there's something called steeper negative gradients. You're like, oh my God, what the hell is that? So as negative events approach, they're perceived as increasingly more negative. I mean, it's like, oh my God, this is like what I was saying to you before. Whereas a positive event, that doesn't really eliminate, that doesn't really escalate to any other type of positive perception. So if you know, let's say you're going somewhere fun, you're going somewhere that doesn't really have any real indicator of it being negative, you're like, yeah, it's going to be so fun. Yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm excited. Okay. But, and then maybe you are excited, but you're focusing on that a little bit. And then you go, oh my God, I don't want to get too happy because if I'm too happy and I'm 3 weeks out, anything could happen. And then what's going to, okay, so don't tell me you're being positive. You think you're preparing for something. You're going, if I get too excited, then it's not going to happen. Then guess what's going to happen? Something, you might manifest it. You absolutely might, or it might go fine. But in those 3 weeks, how the hell are you enjoying yourself? You're not enjoying yourself. You're not even appreciating the process. You're not. But again, if you know you have a conversation with somebody or a potential conversation coming up and it might be a little conflict there, you will lay in bed, you will think about this, you will labor over this, and this is that steeper negative gradient because that's where you're focusing. That's exactly where you're focusing. You're perceiving it increasingly as more negative. Now, here's the reality. If you're working, you're going places, you're functioning in the world, you can't avoid everybody. We don't want to do that either. So you have to remember, and that's why I like for you to bubble up. Let's go in, let's go out, let's hold our head up high and do the best we can with what we got, and they can get on board or not. That's where I want to get you. You got to meet me halfway, but that's where I want to get you. So when you're looking at that steeper negative gradient, you're able to see it, if you can pull back from it. You're able to see it as more like, oh my God, I see what I'm doing. So I'm going to kind of put this in your court for a minute. Over the next, let's say 2 weeks. No, I'll give you a week. Let's say over the next week, if things seem, let's say something's coming up and it seems like it's going to be good. It seems like it's going to be fun. Might not be over the moon, but something's going to be good. And then pay attention. That's why I said 2 weeks. It might not happen in a week. Pay attention to something that you're like, oh God, oh my God, this is coming up and it's going to be a nightmare. Pay attention if you can. And this goes into awareness, right? Pay attention to where you're focusing your energy. And I guarantee you, 99.9% of the time, you're focusing on the negative, not the joy that you're going to have. So that's just how it goes. Now, you also have this negativity, like it's, think of it as evaluating a combination of positive and negative information and then weighing the negative aspects versus the healthy aspects. You're going to have to say this, right? It goes hand in hand. I want you to look at this and say, how much weight am I putting in this negative lifestyle? How much weight am I putting into this fear? And how much weight am I putting into the fact that I feel like I have control? You don't. The only thing, you have two things that no human being can ever take from you, ever. That's your mindset. No one is in charge of your mindset but you. No one can change that or has the power to change that but you. That's right, mindset. Second one, reactions. 0 people can make you react. Listen, I'm not saying that they can't irritate the shit out of you and try to elicit this interaction and this reaction, but you are in charge of those two things. Those are two things no human, no situation can ever take from you, are those two things. Everything else, it's a little different. That's where you have the negative differential. And that's where your negative info is processed in detail. It is in detail. So now you have a memory retention of the negative events. Really think about that. Think about when you've experienced something negative or you're thinking about something being negative over and over again. And let's say something negative happened. Let's make it a little high level where it's not super traumatic. Let's say dating. Let's just throw out in a relationship. So you're with this person, whoever the person is, and some level of betrayal comes, either lying or stepping out of the marriage or relationship or whatever the case may be. So now you are solely focused and you focus over and you focus over and you focus over on this. So now what has happened? Well, now you're hyper aware before you go getting into another relationship. You're like, oh my God, here we go, because you're processing it in detail. You're processing it in detail. Now your memory is retaining it. So anytime that now you're getting in a relationship or somebody else says to you, oh my gosh, I met this person, whoever the person is. I met this person. It's going to be awesome. I feel so good about the person. Then you start your ridiculous projection. Well, I don't know. It's too good to be true. It's too good. That's where I met such and such from. Well, now there's a few things happening. You're projecting, which again, whole ass podcast on that. It's psychological projections if you're looking for it. So you're psychologically projecting, and you're projecting the negative in which you experienced. So if you met your person on Tinder, whatever, and it was going good and you guys were going to get engaged and life was going along well, and then this big shoe fell and the bottom fell out of the drawer, and now you're in that space. You're now negative about anybody that's on Tinder. You're negative about anybody who says that they love you. It becomes something that you have glommed onto. So when said person says, oh, I'm ready to get back out and dating, I think I'm going to go on Tinder, you lose your mind. Well, don't do that. You better not do that. Be careful. Well, okay, calm down. Did they ask for your opinion? Probably not. Probably not. So you just find your lane, stay there. So now, how does this pertain to the positive psychology versus the negative? Well, we just said it's ingrained into you now. So now this person comes up to you, you haven't processed your stuff yet. You're trying, but you haven't. Now this person comes up, and the sheer idea of a relationship, even though you might want one, is completely negative. Now, all of a sudden, you can't trust anybody. You never want to date anybody again because you don't trust them. Oh, I did this and blah, blah, blah. Now, secondary, not so much about positive psychology here. And I will do some more relationship stuff. I tend to do most of my podcasts geared towards you because I don't think that, and I know you can't, have a good relationship with anybody until you have a good relationship with yourself. So I kind of solely focus there, but I will throw some relationship stuff in there. And this is one little piece of that. Let's do a little blurb here. If you have been in a relationship and you feel wronged or you feel insecure and you feel the need to go through somebody's things and you want constant reassurance and you're in attachments and you're anxious and blah, 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 don't get in the relationship. Seriously. Don't do that. And don't allow yourself to get into a relationship with someone that you see has had a tumultuous past. That's fine because most of us have, but hasn't started to work through it because now it's going to be put on you. Oh, well, where are you going? What do you mean? Where am I going? I'm going to the bathroom. Like to the point where now let's put this back on you. If you haven't processed and started working on the trust factor for yourself and other people around you, do not allow yourself to drag somebody else into that because it's not fair to them. So now all your insecurities, now you're in this relationship. Now they have to cater to you and coddle you because of the past thing. No, they do not. And it's not fair to them. Because now you're already putting them behind the 8 ball before they've even had a chance to show you who they are. So this is why when you're going into positive psychology, if you're always focusing on the negative and you're using big words like everybody, always, and never. Everybody, always. No, oh, and nobody. And nobody loves me. That's not true. You're looking at this little small circle. Why are we focusing there? And quite frankly, no one has to love you more than you love yourself. So if you're seeking that, that's going to be a problem because you have to do that for yourself. And all of that will tie back into positive psychology. All of it. Here's a big one. I hear it a lot, and that's skepticism. Absolutely. See, some people are going to doubt the effectiveness of positive psychology. Yep. Or they're going to look at the techniques and view them as they're way too simplified. And there's like unscientific. That's not true. That's not true. I could give you 86,000, well, not that many. I could probably give you 25 to 30 scientific reasons as to why positive psychology works. But when you're skeptic, it's because you're partially afraid. Essentially, you're afraid. You're saying, yeah, all right, I mean, I'm going to try this, but now you're already going into negative. I'll try this, but it's not going to work. Well, yeah, because you're looking for something tangible in that moment. If I give you a pair of reading glasses, you can see the pair of reading glasses. I've literally handed them to you. But if I said, hey, I'm going to give you some reading glasses, got to build them first, got to make them first, got to take my time. Okay. And you're like, am I ever going to get these damn reading glasses? Because you're looking for something instantly. So when people are skeptic, oh God, people are skeptic of everything. And now listen, I'm not saying not to be aware, not to kind of ask questions and do that. That's great. But when you are skeptic of everything, it's going to be a big problem because it's going to hinder any perception of anything. And you're going to say it's oversimplified and it's been scientifically proven over and over, but those lack of immediate results and thinking, well, if I think positive, this is where people get the whole positive psychology or toxic positivity way wrong. Oh, well, if I'm positive, I'm saying that my negative isn't valid. No, that's how you look at it. That's not how positive psychology works. You're looking at it as if I'm positive or if I focus on being positive and I focus going forward, I am negating, and people want me to negate my experience. No, but we don't want you to live there. Because now we go from this was my experience to now your victim mindset. Two different things. So it's only toxic positivity if you're thinking in your mind, I can only say affirmations. I can only be joyful. By the way, that's a you issue. That's not a psychology issue. And for you to think, oh, well, if I'm positive, I have to forget my past. No, but what you do want to do is you want to work on that. Because here's the facts and here's the truth and here's scientific facts for you. You will not with 100% certainty, you will not reach the place that you want to be and the person you want to be with the idea of A, I'm got to do it fast. B, I have to hold on to this because it's my identity. And C, refusal to take the steps into the unknown. I don't care who you are, how much you listen to, and how wealthy you are. You will not reach that goal, and that's a fact. So if you're looking at it and going, well, it's toxically positive. No, you're telling yourself that. Nobody else is telling you that. You are. Because the issue isn't to forget the negative things. The issue, the positive psychology isn't to forget it. It's to not let it hold you. It is to not eat you alive. But your skepticism says, ooh, but wait a minute. I don't trust this. So I'm not going to lower my standards. My bar. Well, then you're always going to be doing that for everything in your life. You're going to be skeptic across the board for everything. And it's going to hinder it over and over again. Over and over again. And in some ways, there's this societal norm. Now, it's not quite as bad today, but it kind of ventures there. Where there's almost this, I don't know if I want to call it a medal, but it's almost this medal if you stay negative versus if you stay positive. Because now you're going to have people around you who are going to start judging that because they might not have gotten there. So now they're going to be like, oh my God, could you be any more toxic positive? Right? Because they're not ready for that part. And here's where you got to hold your lane. You're not in charge of when they get there. But what you're not going to do is you're not going to water down your positivity. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But if you sit there and you say, this is what, oh, you know what? Let me give you an example of that. I've talked about it before. I have one for my Patreon group for the abundance tier, but let's say it's a Facebook group. and you're in this Facebook group, for people who had narcissistic partners. Okay, here you go. And you've said, I'm going to follow every TikTok. I'm going to go on every podcast about it. And I'm going to go to therapy 6 times and I'm going to join this group. Okay, first of all, love that you're trying to get through it. Love that. Number one, you're still looking for a fast fix. You don't realize, but you are. But now let's talk about the group. Now you go into this group. Are you really looking to improve, or are you looking to be validated that it happened? Now, there's a small space for both, but here's the deal. I have a hard time with some groups that aren't promoting how you can move forward. Because if you go into a group and now it's just a total victim mindset fest where, yes, can you believe that they did this to me? Yes, can you believe that they did that to me? I know. Oh my God, I'm so damaged. Me too. Okay, great. Now you see that you're not alone. Love that for you. But how are you going to shift it? Because some of those groups aren't giving you the tools. They're giving you a space to feel like a victim mindset person outside of knowing that somebody relates to you. That's where the issue comes. So a lot of this is going to be who you surround yourself with. Listen, you can't always choose who you're around with at work. And depending on where you are in your life, you might not be able to choose who you're around with in your personal life. But I'm going to tell you right now, don't do it because you think, well, it's just my mom. No, you don't have to be around your mother. You don't. If you live with her, it's going to be a little bit deeper of a problem, but you don't. So you have to say, what is in my control that I can surround myself with? So even if you're going to work or you're going somewhere that you know is going to be filled with negativity and filled with negative people, don't go into it negatively. Go into it and go, okay, bubble up. I am not going to allow somebody else's actions and energy to affect my mindset. It's going to take you a minute. This is where the affirmation comes, but now you got to act accordingly. So let's go into that. So Betty's going to be there. And Betty's the receptionist, and she's always the front person, and she sets your calendar for you. And you and Betty have had contentious conversations just because, she thinks that you're going too slow. You think that she's being too bitchy, blah, blah, blah. You guys are all going to go to this event. Number one, you're doing that weird negative stuff, but okay, you're going to go in. Betty's going to be there. So you already know the energy that she carries. So if you're going into this place and Betty's there, and then she comes up and she kind of gives you a snide remark and you get activated by it, you did that to yourself. She didn't activate you. You allowed that behavior within yourself. I'm not saying her walking by and saying something didn't activate you. What I'm saying though, is you knew potentially what could happen. That's not being negative. That's knowing what you're going into. Going to circus clowns are there. You don't like them? That's a you issue because the clowns are there. So it's not negative to go, oh, this is what I'm going to see, this contentiousness between us. No, you are saying, I'm going to go in. I know Betty's going to be there. I know she's going to get a little snarky. I'm going to have limited interactions and I'm not going to take what she says personal because this is her consistent. See, when you see somebody's consistency, and sometimes let's say you have to deal with them, you getting reactive isn't going to help you at all. And it's going to feed the fuel. I've said this to you before. I don't like fur. I'm not a fur person. I am more into animals than that for myself. And I don't believe in them. This does not mean I'm going to go stand on the corner of Fifth Avenue and I'm going to throw red paint on somebody's fur coat. I'm not going to do that. Why? Because my point will never be made. Now I'm the radical who's on the corner throwing red paint onto somebody. Now my point isn't made. I look like a crazy person. Like I'm like a radical person. So that's me. So you have to know. So will fur activate me? I don't like people wearing fur. I just don't, not the people. I don't like the concept of fur. Will it activate me? If I know I'm going to go into the city and I know I'm going to go to a place where probably people are going to have fur, I have two options. Don't go there, or know when I go in there, I'm going to see this fur. I know it's not my thing. I don't have to do it, and I don't have to stand on a soapbox to tell somebody. So I know going in there, I'm going to prepare myself to go, do not get activated because you know what you're walking into. That's positive. That's positive because now I'm saying I know what I'm facing and I know it can be activating. I'm not going to allow this to activate me. So this is why I'm telling you, you want to be careful of what it is that you're avoiding. Because in positive psychology, I'm going to tell you right now, the biggest gift that you're ever going to give yourself is mindfulness. That is a fact. There are so many studies across the board how mindfulness helps in many things. But before I get there, I want to talk to you about the PERMA model. So what is the PERMA model? Well, it was introduced by Martin Seligman, something like that. And the PERMA model outlines 5 core elements of well-being. 5. Positive emotions, engagement, relationships, meaning, and accomplishments. Those are the 5 sort of core areas. It's kind of like mind, body, spirit, but in a different way. This is, your core, your PERMA. And when you look there, you can say, where am I lacking? What am I doing? And actually over on Patreon, not just the regular worksheet, you're also going to have the PERMA worksheet to kind of walk through that too, because it'll be interesting for you to kind of mark that through too. It just gives you another tool. But when you say to yourself, what is the positive emotion? Really ask yourself this. Like, let's do this together for a minute. When you think of you being positive, what does that look like to you? So if you say today, I'm going to be positive today, what does that mean to you? Does it mean, I'm going to avoid things? That's not what it means. Does it mean things are going to go on around me and I'm not going to allow myself to get activated by it? Yeah, that's part of it. But are you looking for positivity to avoid something within yourself? Or are you looking for it to say, I am actively willing to allow whatever comes my way, knowing that I can handle it? So being positive isn't about fixing. Being positive is about knowing where you are and staying there in that moment. Enter mindfulness. Mindfulness is the best thing on the planet. Even when you're in an anxiety attack, let's go dramatic here. You're in an anxiety attack. Obviously, you want to do the run. By the way, you never run from an anxiety attack. You never try to get out of it. It is secular. It is secular. It will come and it will go. But the more you resist it, the more it's going to persist. Just a side note. But mindfulness in general. So there's several researchers. Ellen Langer is one. And that's where they dig so deep into understanding how mindfulness can really rewire some of those pathways and neurons. And they really can. Your mind is very, very powerful. Sometimes not so smart because it's going to believe what you give it. So it says, we're scared. We got to be scared. Your brain doesn't go, you know what? I don't think we need to be scared. That changes as you start practicing mindfulness. That changes when you stop looking for the negative. So now when you tell your brain, hey, something scary's happened, your brain goes, it's okay. Listen, we're good. We're safe here. That's where consistent practice is going to be your best friend. And that's the practice of maintaining awareness of the present moment. Awareness. Don't try to change it. Don't try to fix it. Be aware of the present moment. So let's say you are in an anxiety attack. And instead of you escaping and trying to run and trying to get out of it and you're trying to do those things, you're just in it. Yes, I know it's scary. I've lived with them all my life. The first one I got that I can remember, I've had them before, but I didn't know what they were, was right around 13, 14, and was halfway asleep, drifting into the sleepville. My heart raced, and I was like, holy shit, I'm dying here. And my dad was at the bar. It was me by myself. I freaked out. I ran down to the 7-Eleven where, I deal with drugs and stuff down there. And I didn't do them. I sold them mostly weed. And that was my survival skill that I had to do while I was in school because we had to do what we had to do so I could eat. And I went down there and I knew that there were cops there. Yes, the cops knew what were going on. So, again, it was just weed. And I was freaking out. So one of them drove me to the hospital, which wasn't too far. It's the hospital I was born in at the time. And I walked in and I was underage, so they were trying to get a hold of my dad. We didn't have cell phones. They called the bar. He came after probably about a half hour, which was fine. When I went in, I was freaking out. I'm 14 years old. They gave me a Valium. And they didn't give me a Valium yet. That was the next time when I went in and I was freaking out and I knew the doctors were there and yes, it was terrible, but probably about 30 to 40 minutes, I started to be like, okay, all right, I'm okay. So dad got me, took me home. Now dad had been familiar with them because my mom had them and she had them very, very frequently, probably all day, just about every day. And then it happened again, probably about 4 or 5 days later. Same scenario. I ran down to 7-Eleven. Guess what? Police were there. They knew me. Off we go to the hospital again. This time they did give me a Valium because it had gotten worse. And probably about 20 minutes in, I was like, oh, okay. Now, obviously, you're not aware of mindfulness at 14 years old. You're not ready to just accept it for what it is, but you're here now. You're here as an adult today. So the moment that starts happening, or the moment you have an intrusive thought, you want to come back to the center. You want to come back here. Problem is you're trying to run from things. You're trying to run from your intrusive thoughts. You're trying to run from all of this stuff. You're trying to run into the negativity and not the positivity. But that's not how you do it. So when you're in it, you go, oh my God, I don't want to be there. I don't want to feel that. Yes, you do. You might not want to feel it, but yes, you need to come back there. You need to come back to base. And that's mindfulness. And as you do that, you start to get more aware of your problem solving. You can problem solve better. So when you're focusing on your mindfulness and you're dealing with everything that we've learned in science, it's not toxic. It gives you a space to say, there is help and there's hope for me. Your emotional well-being means, guess what? It means that there's going to come a point in time. I'm not telling you what to do because I know there's a lot of debate about forgiveness. I'm telling you right now, for me and for my clients, we really do the forgiveness thing. It's very effective and it works. And that might not be for you, and that's okay. But the reason that works, and I went through some really shitty things and people did some really shitty things. I did too. But I can't live in that. So when you're talking about positive psychology, it says, what did I learn? What did I see? This is where mindset is your biggest factor. Are you going to see that relationship where that person that you were with from Tinder stepped out as some dramatic thing? Listen, you're allowed your feelings. Or are you going to look and go, maybe not, I'm stupid. That's not a lesson. The lesson isn't, I'm stupid, you idiot, you should have seen it. Not the lesson. No. The lesson is, what is it that maybe I let go of when it came to my core values? Or maybe I'm learning my core values. Maybe this has taught me more of what I don't want. Was I not really following my own dreams? Was I too worried about this other person? Was I in attachment? Is it, instead of being connected, was I attached? All of these things come up. And then if you can use that mindset, you can see what you've learned, and then you can implement whatever you've learned going forward. But that's mindset, and that's positivity. That isn't, oh, it's negative, it never happened. No, it happened. It just doesn't control you any longer. But you have to be willing to do the work. And before you get skeptical and you say to yourself, well, but it's not going to work for me. How many times have you said that? Seriously, be honest with yourself. How many times have you said, well, yeah, that works for other people. Hell, I tried it. It doesn't work for me. Yeah, because you're looking for instant results. Don't tell me you can't meditate. That's bullshit. You can. You're looking to go into advanced meditation where you're sitting in silence and your thoughts aren't racing. That's your problem right there. You're trying to go to the end of the marathon. You're trying to get there because that's more of an advanced practice. No, you're not going to do that. You're right. You can't do that right now. Facts. But you can do things like active meditation, going for walks. Yes, that's meditation. Yes, that's active. Do not listen to a podcast. Do not listen to music. That doesn't mean always. That just means if you're in a mindful practice. I know a lot of you do listen to this while you're walking. Love that for you. But if you're, man, I really need to unbox things and really sit with them, and I'm going to stay in a present space, and I'm going to hear the birds and hear the cars go by and hear people talking, that's meditation. That's active meditation. Doing the dishes by hand is actually active meditation. Then you can do guided meditation. But don't sit there and tell me you can't meditate. That's you not being consistent in the practice. And you don't meditate once a week and then be done with it. It's a committed investment. And that's where you can ask yourself today, how committed are you into changing it? How committed are you into letting go of the control and the ego that says, I need to know that this is going to work? How invested are you in yourself? Because if you're not invested in yourself, you're not going to do this. It won't be a practice that you do. But you can do this. You can do this. I don't care how negative you've been throughout the entire part of your life. You have the ability to change it. So don't get negative and say, I can't do that. I've been negative for 60 years. We're not going to do that. You can change it. You do harness the power to do so. So when you understand why you're resistant, which is what we did here, it's going to be easier for you to change that. But it's going to take time. It's going to take practice. But when you look at an affirmation, I want you to listen to it, I want you to live it, and I want you to practice it every single day. Check it out.